Yes, I found it. I finally found it. Got to give a huge shout out to Wall Street Apes for this, though, because I remember videos ago I told y'all about how it was Obama who made it okay for the Democrats to lie. And honestly, the Democrat Party would not be what it is if they did not have this propaganda enabled for them. We're also going to be talking about how the Democrats are disagreeing with Jasmine Crockett's approach to trying to center herself as the number one candidate in the Democratic Party. But first, let's go ahead and check this out.
So in 2013, it was legalized in the United States to propagandize its citizens.
Oh, really?
What? Like, that's some scary third world stuff going on. That's the kind of stuff that people use to topple governments, to take away freedoms.
Yep. Yes, you heard that right. Almost a decade ago, propaganda was legalized in the United States with the passage of the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act, which you've probably never heard of. The Smith-Mundt Modernization Act was buried in the 2012 National Defense Authorization Act for a good reason, because it repealed the 1948 Smith-Mundt Act, which authorized the State Department and the mainstream media to engage in propagandizing foreign countries, but it prohibited releasing that same propaganda in America for public consumption. This prohibition was lifted when the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act was signed into law by Obama.
Very simply, Obama gave it a reboot in 2012. So, no matter how outrageous the propaganda may be, it's completely legal.
Propaganda, in other words, a false narrative for whatever specific purpose, is now much, much easier to perpetrate on the people.
Due to the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act, which went into effect on July the 2nd of 2013, scripted and orchestrated propaganda can now be presented to the American public as factual news.
Oh, man, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. My glasses. Hold on. Okay. Now I got to wipe it off again. But, okay. I'm back. It's like I couldn't think straight without my glasses on for a second. I malfunctioned. However, apparently the Democrats can't do that either. They malfunctioned, so they use the Smith-Mundt I can't even say it. Modernization Act. Come on, glasses, activate. And they use this to be able to fuel all of the divisiveness that they, carry along inside of that party. Now, Jasmine Crockett actually joined Benny Johnson today. Or did she?
Ladies and gentlemen, we reached out to try and get Democrats to come on our show. And little did we know that the power of this audience and the force majeure of this chat was able to reach into the real heart of the Democrat Party and the real soul of this story. So deep that we were able to get Jasmine Crockett herself to come on the program and to answer for all of this. And so with respect and humbly, we give to you live now, Jasmine Crockett.
Come on, Benny. Can't wait to see this interview.
Congresswoman, it is, I guess I can say, we're happy to have.
I don't know why. This is my second time seeing it, and it's still just so funny. Oh my gosh.
Congresswoman, it is, I guess I can say, we're happy to have you. We're proud that you took an opportunity to reach across the aisle and to answer questions from people who don't agree with what you're doing on Capitol Hill. So I suppose let's just start here. Our profession is journalism and commentating. And why did you attack that reporter this week, snatch his phone and scratch him with what looks to be some pretty aggressive nails there? Looks like you got some real claws on you.
Child, Benny, first of all, Benny, okay, let me tell you something, okay? See, That reporter ran up on me, okay? Okay, and y'all, and first of all, I don't even like that introduction, okay? You didn't even mention that I was a lawyer, okay? I went to law school. See, when these white guests come on here, Benny, when these white folks come on here, see your little white self, yeah, you talk about their accomplishments, but you didn't even bring up mine, okay? See, this is how y'all do black people. This is how y'all do black women. See, I shouldn't even came on here on your white show, okay?
Came back just in time. Man, I don't know what's going on with the universe today, but I just spilled 99% of my coffee all over my desk. Well, in my kitchen. I got literally like a sip. Okay, maybe 2 sips. But yes, y'all seen this, and hopefully y'all was able to enjoy this just as much as I did now. Benny Johnson posted that he was going to be doing an interview with her earlier today. He didn't necessarily frame it as it was going to be a parody. So you have some people that's giving backlash, like you see this very first comment. Bro, what is this? You really you messed up badly. Next time, tell us it's a joke. I wouldn't have wasted my time. I'm sorry, I wasted my time waiting for the show to start. I'm very disappointed. Good Lord. I was like, what? Benny is hosting her? Well played. Yeah, I would have, honestly, if I'm being completely honest, although I love the joke and the parody of it, I would have loved to see our actual interaction. I wouldn't remove this, being able to see this clip out of existence at all. I'm glad that he did do that, but it would have been interesting to see Benny be able to, see their interaction if that really did happen. Now, while the Democrats waste time throwing insults, Republicans get to work. That's why Texas ranks #1 for business, job growth, new economic development projects, space exploration, AI, and so much more. Texas will continue to lead despite Ms. Crockett.
The fact, Sean, is that Texas is actually in direct contrast to what she was talking about. Texas has ranked #1 for the most new jobs in America over the past month, #1 for the most new jobs over the past year and for several years. Texas ranks #1 for the most new economic development projects for 13 years in a row. CEOs who run businesses have ranked Texas the best state for doing business for 20 years in a row. And Texas is in the vanguard as it concerns the future of the United States, such as space exploration, such as artificial intelligence, such as semiconductors, as well as power generation. The bottom line is that Republican states like Texas are leading the way, and with comments like this by Democrats, we will just leave them in the dust in future elections. The fact, Sean, is
that's exactly what's going to continue to happen. This is why we're telling the Democrats like Jasmine to continue to do what you do. I mean, continue to go out there loud, continue to be loud, rambunctious, and all of these things to try to make a name for yourself, and also be that stereotype that you think the black people relate to all the time. Yeah, continue, because you're going to continue to just plummet in terms of your in terms of party identity, and continue the divisiveness, in which will only further more people away from the lies and towards the truth. You know, so it only hurts you. Now, you even have Van Jones out of everybody, Von Jones, scolding the Democrat Party for using vulgar language when referring to Jasmine Crockett. He also claims that Crockett has a bright future, though. No, she doesn't. She's nothing but trash, says Mean. Let's go ahead and check this clip out.
She's young and she's trying to find her way. I think that this party is scrambling, trying to seem tough. And I'm seeing this party traffic in a lot of curse words. That's supposed to be like the new cool thing to do. I don't think that that's going to be as useful. I've even heard Pete Buttigieg with a whole bunch of curse words. I don't know who gave that memo. I don't think that's very useful. I think you have to be very careful when you're talking about people with disabilities. And I don't think she was careful. And I don't know her enough to say she's not being honest. But I'm going to tell you, it sounded bad. And I just want to finish. I think this party is trying to find a way to look tough and to show fight, but this is not the way. I don't think the cursing is going to work. I think I've been on stage and I've gotten a little bit hyped sometimes too. I hope that she will take this as lessons. You talked about learning lessons, that type of stuff. It doesn't sound to me like she's actually taking full responsibility. If that's true, I don't like it, and she can't do that again. She's too important to us to do that again.
What I fear is that no lesson could ever be learned as long as you're doing these things in front of audiences who roar when you do it. When you have comedians who are broad messengers for the left making Scott, unfair jokes and people are roaring, when you have politicians being vulgar and saying what's the lesson?
We're trying.
What's the audience? It says a lot about the audience.
But no, what we're trying to deal with is that Trump has done this and he's been successful.
Yeah.
So when you have somebody who does this stuff and they're successful, you start thinking, well, is that the right way? I would like for us to say it's not. But I think it's hard for us to hear Republicans scolding us on it when your guy does it all the time. We are trying to find a way for it. Jasmine is too important to make these kinds of mistakes. I think she has a bright future. I hope that tonight she's looking and says, you know what? I don't have to do that kind of stuff to get an applause line. She's too important for us to make those kind of mistakes.
Now, I won't sit here and deny that Donald Trump has made some comments that I don't necessarily agree with the phrasing and nothing like that. So I'm not going to sit here and say that he's lying about that. However, he tried to create accountability for the Democrat Party and then tried to remove the accountability by going, oh, well, your guy does it too. But he did acknowledge that the reason why he think the Democrats are doing that is because of Donald Trump, which I don't necessarily agree with. I think that Donald Trump has this approach, but he's him. He's 100% authentically him, in my opinion, at least from what I observe. I don't feel like he's trying to appeal to nobody, whereas you have the Jasmine Crockett in the Democratic Party where they're trying to appeal. It's like, if this is your personality, cool, but if this is your personality and you just raising it up to, oh, he's doing this, so I'm finna do that, it's like, yo, no, your approach isn't authentic, which translates very horribly as it has been. And you see Van Jones don't even agree. And I actually sat here and agree with Van Jones with something I never thought that day would come. What? But as I said, man, Jasmine, hey, keep doing what you're doing.
Jasmine Crockett shit. Keep it going. Let's talk about it. Please keep it up. Keep it up. Please keep up with the stereotypes of an angry black woman. Please keep it up. Democrats, this is the greatest gift y'all could have gave us. You got Crockett shit on one side and Ayo Clueless on the other side. The leadership of the Democrat Party. Keep it going. Come on, strong black woman. I mean, you ignorant as hell. I mean, Democrats got their new minstrel. He used to be Cory Bush. But damn, this is Cory Bush on steroids. Baby, that wig keeps sliding to the left. You might want to pull it up. But keep it going. Keep it going. But I will say this as a black man. Looking at my black mama, she is not the representation of black women. They got the Glorilla of the House of Representatives, the sexy red of the Democrat Party, the Cardi B of Congress. Democrats, keep it up. I mean, my heart goes out to her district, though. The chick already said she's not focused on legislation. So basically, she's not going to do a damn thing for y'all. Basically, you got Congresswoman clickbait. To my man Sheldon down in Dallas, good luck on your campaign. But if you can't defeat this ignorant fool in 2026, I wouldn't be mad either, because this chick is pure comedy. Black women of the hood, claim your crown. Black women used to hate being called angry, stereotyped as ghetto, aggressive. But I guess now y'all embrace it. Whole culture has infiltrated lawmaking. It's now mainstream now. That's your hero. I'm good with it, though. Keep it up. I'm rooting for you.
Jasmine clickbait, Miss Clickbait. Man, I appreciate that take. Who is that? I want to make sure I get who it was. Hold on. It says Todd Turner 2471 on TikTok. Make sure y'all go check him out. And he said he made a really good point here, though. He was talking about how black women have always talked about how they've been he didn't go into depth like this, but this is how I took it, by the way. Black women have been going throughout the years just trying to make sure that they have more of a respectable, reputable reputation, and people view them in the light as something that is, I already said the word respectable. I can't think of another one right now. Somebody that's looked at with dignity, okay, in class. However, right now we see the Democrats digress. That's all they're doing is going back. They want segregation again. They want to, sit here and put us in, certain boxes or whatever, certain criterias based on skin color and all this other stuff. Like, yeah, go ahead, continue. Now, I want y'all to see this interaction right here. Are we talking about that stereotype again, huh? Now, I don't think she's necessarily Sydney, this particular woman over here is acting like Jasmine Crockett. But you can see just the cutting off the entitlement and everything that breathes through here, that the Democrats still seem to be in ancient times in terms of understanding, bro. Like,
So as a patriot, Scott, I find it really troubling because they ran on this whole idea of this pseudo-patriotism, this regressive masculine patriotism, yet everything they're doing runs against making America great. Well, it was never great, so I'm not going to say the again part, but making America great. You're trying to defend the indefensible. Yeah, I absolutely feel that way. I absolutely feel that way. And I think if you had the history that my people had in this country, that you might have a modicum of understanding and respect for that. America was never great for me.
Are you serious? You're sitting there, beautiful black woman. Seem you carry yourself well. You, in terms of your appearance, you seem to put yourself together nice. You're on CNN. I'm not sure if you are a host on a regular basis or not, but you have to be somebody. You made a name for yourself to be able to get on that platform like that. How's life not great for you? You were never a slave. You literally have free will within the margin of morals and staying within the Constitution, obviously, and laws of the land. But outside of that, you have free will to make decisions. I don't get it, man. Why are we in ancient times when it comes to this, black people? Why?
America was never great for me.
I think when we talk later about why the Democratic Party is so unpopular,
I'm not here to represent the Democrats. I'm here representing me, and I think it is a common understanding that America may have been great for you. It was not great for me. I think there are people who want her to fulfill that promise. But the point of this discussion right now is the national security of this country, which your party put at risk. I'm not a member of the Democratic Party. I'm not here to represent them. But for me as a journalist, I'm telling you, this was a huge problem. So instead of attacking Jeffrey Goldberg, what they could do is act like men and own this mistake since they ran on this.
Now you want to do that right there. You know, the stereotype in the black community is, down in men. So right here it's normalized. You act like men, act like men. I mean, I guess I'll probably be I'm probably zeroing in on this a little too much. Now that I'm processing it a little more, but it is what it is.
Mistakes since they ran on this regressive masculinity campaign, act like men and say, you know what, we failed. But instead what you heard was this president yet again.
They literally took accountability. What are you talking about? PKXF took accountability.
Lie and say, oh, I don't know anything about it. Soon enough, it's going to be, I don't know this Hexef guy that well. It's a consistent party of lies with this guy. And it's disturbing that there are so many people willing to defend this instead of saying, yes, this is a problem. They have not taken responsibility. They can set aside our political differences.
The White House has literally admitted that the messages are authentic.
Who?
And that
Donald Trump didn't admit
Brian
this.
Hughes, the spokesperson for the National.
Donald Trump didn't admit this. The White House, which works for Donald Trump, came out. Which means Donald Trump knew that this was going to come out. They came out and took responsibility for this. You need to hear
Donald Trump didn't admit
Brian
this.
Hughes, the spokesperson for the National Security Council.
Well, the president didn't.
So there you go. And number two,
we just heard from people that said he didn't.
They have said they're looking into and trying to figure out how this happened. You raised the issue of patriotism. I think the Patriotic Act was what the president did in ordering the strikes in the first place. Go back in time. It was Biden who took the Houthis off the terrorist list and let this problem fester for 4 years. The only reason this situation occurs today is because they've been harassing ships, harassing our Navy, and finally Trump shows up, redesignates them, goes to war.
The ships are still not using the Red Sea, though.
Goes to war.
The ships have not returned to the Red Sea.
And the strike and the military precision at which it was carried out was incredible. So what we have here, you raised the issue of patriotism. The Patriotic Act is for the commander-in-chief to do the right thing, which he did in ordering the strike in the first place.
But of course, she didn't hear, people don't like to hear any of that. I give her kudos, even though she was given slight pushback. She really couldn't, she wasn't there like calling him a liar and things of that nature. And she insinuated that, obviously, no, she didn't insinuate that, but she wasn't like calling him a liar. She insinuated that Donald Trump didn't take accountability, though. That's what I was trying to say. But he definitely did. I mean, you have the speaker of that department coming out and speaking on behalf of, that department and Donald Trump. Like, what are we doing here, people? I genuinely want to understand. Somebody said, if you don't like it here, then leave. She sits on TV freely expressing her opinion, saying America was never great for me. Some need to live in unfree countries to appreciate what America has done for them. I truly appreciate that, man. Like, I mean, I truly believe that 100% because it's like, come on, man, we got so much opportunity here and we want to zero in on something, our skin color, like that really, like we don't have chance and opportunity every single day that we wake up. I get it. Some people in context, certain situations are beyond their control, which hinders them from creating certain progress at a certain pace. I totally understand that. But I'm speaking in a generalized way, though. Now, NPR CEO Catherine Marr explained, truth is distraction from getting things done. She didn't realize that 100% of NPR's editorial staff were Democrats and has never seen any bias in the newsroom. Now, this is state-funded media. You have Elon Musk and USA looking into these state-funded media companies. And yeah, we're going to figure out if she's unbiased as she claims. See, these Democrats, man.
But one of the most significant differences, critical for moving from polarization to productivity, is that the Wikipedians who write these articles aren't actually focused on finding the truth. They're working for something that's a little bit more attainable.
What's that?
Which is the best of what we can know right now. And after 7 years there, I actually believe that they're onto something. That for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth isn't necessarily the best place to start. In fact, I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us from finding consensus and getting important things done.
So finding the truth is a distraction that hinders progress? Next video. I want y'all to watch just a clip of this.
Former senior business editor for NPR.
How long do you work at NPR?
I believe he was there just over 25 years.
25 years? Award-winning journalist? Did he win any awards?
Our time to
Peabody Award? That's pretty important, isn't it?
That is, absolutely.
So pretty distinguished journalist, right?
Certainly.
And he wrote a long story about what you do at NPR. Is NPR biased?
Congressman, I have never seen any instance of political bias determining editorial decisions. No.
Well, Mr. Berliner, in his story last year, wrote, in the D.C. area, editorial positions at NPR, he said he found 87 registered Democrats, 0 Republicans. Is that accurate?
We do not track the numbers or the voter registration, but I find that concerning.
Award-winning journalist who worked 25 years at NPR, Mr. Berliner, was he lying when he wrote that?
I am not presuming such. I just we don't track that information about our journalists.
87 to 0, and you're not biased?
I think that is concerning if those numbers are accurate.
It's concerning. I mean, it wasn't 44-43. It wasn't 60-27. It wasn't 70-17. It wasn't even 80-7. It was 87 Democrats, 0 Republicans, and you say NPR is not biased. How about the big stories over the last few years? According to Mr. Berliner, again, he wrote on the Trump-Russia story, he wrote, at NPR, we hitched our wagon to Trump's most visible antagonist, Representative Adam Schiff. He said they interviewed him 25 times. Is that accurate?
I was not there at the time, but those numbers sound accurate. Yes.
Those sound accurate. But then he said when the Mueller report came out and Robert Mueller said he found no evidence of collusion, he said Russiagate faded from our programming. Is that accurate?
Again, I was not there at the time. I couldn't say.
You couldn't say?
I was not at NPR at the time.
You didn't prepare for that? You knew we were going to ask you about this guy, didn't you? It's come up like 6,000 times already in the hearing.
I just couldn't say whether it faded from our coverage, sir.
How about this story? October 2020, the New York Post had the Hunter Biden laptop story, and one of those editors, I guess one of those 87 Democrat editors, said this: we don't want to waste our time on stories that are not really stories. We don't want to waste the listeners' and readers' times on stories that are just pure distractions. Was that a pure distraction story?
Our current editorial leadership believes that that was a mistake, as do I.
Yeah, the whole country knows that was a mistake.
What?
Definitely impacted the election, or I think it certainly impacted the election. How about the COVID origin story? That's a pretty big story too, right? Mr. Berliner said, we became fervent members of the team Natural Origin, even declaring that the lab leak was debunked by scientists. Turns out, though, the lab leak is what most people think actually caused the COVID virus.
Sorry, is there a question there?
There is. You guys were 0 for 3 on the three of the biggest stories in the last 5 years. You guys were 0 for 3, and yet you maintain that NPR is not biased?
Congressman, I do not believe we are politically biased. No, we are a nonpartisan organization.
Nonpartisan organization.
You know what? They actually went on to scold her, and she got put on blast for her tweets. So basically, they were asking, hey, do you believe XYZ? And she would say no. And then they'll read out a tweet that she wrote explicitly stating that she agrees with that. Smith-Mundt Act enabled the Jasmine Crockett's news media that claims not to be biased and claims the truth is a distraction. But we're in a cult. We're in a cult. We're in the cult?
Let me start off with 2 words. Made in America. Made in America. We are all created equal, endowed by in the image of God, endowed by our Creator to be able to treat it equally throughout our lives. Find answers to the drug problem, to drugs, with the use of drugs for health problems. When I went to Dearborn, driving that, was up there. I don't know, man. I think the press thought I was crazy. We saw new standards. We set new standards. We slashed methane and brought over 100 nations together when I was at the big meeting we had in Europe. I started the cancer moonshot, which I worked very hard on in the administration I served in last. Empowering the LGBTQ community. And the question is whether or not we should be in a position where you why can't the experts say we know that this virus is in fact it's going to be we know why all the drugs approved are not temporarily approved but permanently approved. Yeah. We have plans to build a railroad from the Pacific all the way across the Indian Ocean. And there was no way we were ever going to unite Ukraine. Iraq, Afghanistan. Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people. Before Russia attacked, we made sure Russia had javelins and other weapons to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains of tools, kleptocracy. Kleptocracy. The guys who were the kleptocracies. We created more than 12,000 brand new jobs in 2 years. Police Chief Murray of the Police Chief Murphy Paul of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Inflation is a worldwide problem right now. There's a war in Iraq and the impact on oil and what Russia's doing. The war in Ukraine. We cheer for Muslim athletes like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. When I was president, when I was vice president.
Sad thing is, me correcting him on words.
Visit vaccines.gov. Vaccines.gov. Keep alive the truth and honor of the Holocaust, horror of the Holocaust. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms.
Some people ask whether you are fit for the job. And when you hear that, I wonder what you think. Watch me.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
Yeah. This is that video that you shared with your Democrat friends. I don't know. I pretty much laid out the case for you. I gave you proof that there's lies within the Democrat Party. From Obama. Showed you how the media enabled the likes of Jasmine Crockett. Showed you how the news media forms lie to us and propagandize what's been enabled by the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. Modernization. I even showed you what we had to deal with for the last 4 years. Y'all go check out somebody today. You could be saving their life. Thank y'all for all the donations, man, to help keeping this channel afloat. Y'all know bringing the truth bring great risk. So I'm going to say thank y'all for rocking with your boy. Outside of that, man, the likes, the comments, the shares, man, that's currency. That right there is priceless. So I truly appreciate that. And in addition to that, man, I'm in a pretty cool space. I wanted to let y'all know that. We got some content that's getting ready to be uploaded to Patreon within the next 24 hours. So I can't wait for y'all to check that out. But yeah, please definitely go check on somebody today. I wasn't joking.